Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening, watching on Instagram, listening on Spotify, or watching on YouTube. This week I have the amazing Jojo, the Sculpt Coach. We have been chatting about everything. Female fitness, mum fitness, general fitness, coaching life, parent life, and travel.
Survival mode.
Even hit a few good TV shows in there.
Leveling up.
Tell us briefly, this is Jojo, the Sculpt Coach.
And where I came from, how it started. So I became the Sculpt Coach, I would say, about 2 years ago, when I really decided this is the direction I'm going to take. This is the identity of my brand and the vision and message that I have. You know, I realised quite quickly I wanted to work with ladies. I wanted to help people that were in the same position as me. Then I just went with it and just started talking.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching and who you're coaching.
Okay, so ladies, I look after my lady loves. And the vast majority are ladies that have had babies. It might not be immediately after giving birth because you need a lot of time to recover. But it's normally ladies that have children or have maybe had a change. They've gone back to work and they've finally realised that they need to make a change for them. And they have probably tried a few things. They've probably seen a few social media posts about, buy this pill, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be a better mum. And they've come to the point where they've realised they need to actually invest in a person that will look after them. And most of them I find they're just coming out of survival mode, whether that be from, as I say, work, having a child, and they've just realised that they need to now start looking after themselves to ensure that they can look after their children or function better in life, enjoy life, have a full life. So it's ladies. I do online, in studio at my house or at their house. And we normally start with a 12-week program. So it's all very bespoke and tailored to them, their lifestyle, what works for them, what's achievable, realistic, and something they can maintain long term. We start with a 12-week goal. And we just literally strip everything back to basics. So just simple things that I think, for some reason, we always want a quick fix. We want to literally go online and find something that's going to solve our problems. But if you actually think about it, if you just go back a step and think, am I having 2 litres of water a day? Am I having 8 hours of sleep? Am I managing my stress levels? Am I taking 10 minutes just to think about me in a day? Or am I in survival mode, in the cycle of lack of sleep, stress, cortisol spikes, and just getting through life but not enjoying life like you should be able to? So it's a very personal approach. So we start setting habits and just things anyone can do.
Okay.
Anyone at all to make a change. And then we talk about them, their lifestyle barriers, what's in the way of you being what you want to be, whether that's 2 stone lighter, whether that's a bit more confident when you're on the beach, whether that's just actually managing your life better. And again, that's part of putting habits and routines in. We do that, and then they'll come and train with me and we make baby steps, small changes. Let's start, even if it's just getting your steps in every day. Take the baby for a walk, get out in the fresh air, run around for half an hour, make a change, move in a direction that you're not currently moving in, and then things just snowball. Then we start training. Nutrition is a big thing. I think so many people are still stuck in the whole no carbs. Carbs are the enemy, this horrible no carbs before marbs situation that went on a few years ago. And I'm kind of like saying to these gorgeous ladies, you're trying to run an army, which is your children, your home, your partner, the school run, maybe some school clubs, parties, on an empty stomach. I have some clients that won't touch anything that's got fat in it. The brain is 60% fat. It needs fat to survive. And
also women need more fat for hormones than men, generally. And
to do with your cycle, Other things, exactly that. So we'll go back to, I'll say, are you tracking your cycle? Do you know where you're at right now? No, I don't. But I do know that I'm stressing a little bit, or I was exhausted last week, or I was particularly stressed, or I couldn't achieve anything. It's like, understand your body.
Right.
The week before your period, give yourself a break. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get my 10,000 steps in, or I didn't do this right. That's fine. You need a minute to yourself and just do things so they complement your lifestyle and your body's natural rhythm. And there's just so many little things that can be done.
Do you have any good books or anything? Obviously working with you, clearly, but for any PTs or coaches out there, or women or female PTs? Like any good books, particularly on training on your cycle? Somebody gave me a recommendation the other week, but I'll see if it matches up.
So is it Mindy Peltz?
Yeah.
She's a really good lady that will talk about female health, cycles.
Period power? No, never heard of that one?
I haven't.
And what about women are not little men? Have you heard that? Which is...
No.
She's very famous. Oh, let me quickly Google that while we let the kids run by.
Yeah, I think how the first thing I'd sort of say to my clients is there's an
Stacey Sims.
Stacey Sims.
Yes.
That might be the one. I think she's on Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
But the first thing I'll say to the ladies is download the Clue app. So that's a free app.
Okay.
You can pay for an upgrade to get more insights, and I do think it's actually worth upgrading. But you can use it, as I did, for a year for free.
Okay.
Just start plotting in there your cycle, and the bit that I think is also very important and interesting, plot how you feel. I'm anxious, I'm irritable, I'm upset.
Yeah.
And you will start to see a pattern, and that's almost like the first step to starting to understand yourself. And just, some of the barriers that my clients say, I don't have the time. Okay, right, I'm going to ask you.
You don't have the time to track your own mental health, your own health.
Yeah, exactly.
Like something that happens every month, you don't have the time to track it.
Exactly. So I just say to them, and this is the time of day that it worked for me when I started doing this.
Yeah.
When you're in bed, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or on the loo.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And even if you are super busy and super exhausted, do it for yourself. The reason why I am so passionate about what I do, and like you say, you see me getting up 5:15 in the morning, I'm on my bike, I'm doing my cycle, is because I want a long, happy life with my child.
Yeah.
I want to be strong, I want to be able to pick her up, I want to be able to do everything with her and for her. And that, that comes back to, a lot of it, and that's my passion, is strength training.
Okay.
Looking after yourself, but also strength training to help with the loss when you get to a certain age. All the ladies, about this, when you're sort of mid-30s, you start thinking about it. You're losing collagen. You're losing all the things that help you be a young, fit, full of energy person. But strength training has been scientifically proven to help sort of replenish those things.
Yep.
Sorry, I've got into a massive space of all
we went far.
things.
We went from carbs from Mars, just to recap, and then we blasted past 8 hours sleep. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to just question you on the fact that, again, a classic client would have heard 8 hours of sleep and gone, well, if I can't get 8 hours sleep, there's no point in me doing anything else. So then I was going to throw it, as my last guy I did the podcast with, he said, if you have a small chip on your phone, you don't just throw your phone on the floor and smash it. So obviously those pillars, 2 litres of water a day, 8 hours of sleep, they're what we goal for. Just because we can't get one of the pillars strong doesn't mean we smash all the other pillars. No? Then we talked briefly, I want to ask you about a really interesting phrase you said, because I am a parent as well, and you said coming out of survival mode.
Yes.
And we've all got different times in our life when survival mode was. Was it when they were 6 months? Or was it when they're sitting up, when they're crawling? What about when they start nursery? And I tried to tell this to a male and female client of mine. They were like, oh, my daughter's starting nursery next week. And I was like, okay, good luck. I'll see you in a month. Yeah. And they had no idea. They didn't realise that the whole world was going to get destroyed again by chickenpox, hand, foot and mouth.
Oh my God.
Measles. Not measles, because you don't get measles in this country. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then... And I suppose for us, it's like without those strong bedrock pillars, it's so easy to just watch those cracks tear apart everything.
So I would say for me, when it comes to clients or anyone that's sort of saying, oh, I can't do that, I'm just not going to do it. And this comes back to survival mode. So for me, and I think it's a real big piece that should be discussed more with pregnant women, families, supporting partners. For me, I was in survival mode the second my daughter was born.
Yeah.
So I've just given birth, which is the equivalent to running several marathons, okay?
Yeah.
I'm depleted, I'm tired. I now have this incredible human being that I need to now make her live. So my body needs to produce, I chose to breastfeed. There's options, but I chose to breastfeed. I then need to feed her. I need to be able to function. I need to be able to sleep. So for me, survival mode started, and I didn't realise for years, until years later down the line, that I was in survival mode, and I stayed in it to get where I needed to be. if I had sort of someone there to help me and talk to me and put it into context that sort of rings true in my head. So going back to like the water, the 8 hours of sleep, as my daughter grew up and I was still in survival mode and she's now sort of a toddler, I had one of my friends say to me, Jojo, are you looking after you? Are you making sure you are okay? At this point, I think I was surviving on like Percy Pigs and whatever I could grab, because the baby or toddler was priority. And like I would go to the end of the earth to get her, if I fancied organic broccoli or something, and her meals would be perfect and she'd have everything she needed to survive and thrive.
Yeah.
And I was just like a quick Percy Pig or loads of coffee and that really, I was like, oh my God, like, if I become ill or I can't function or I'm not functioning in the best way, that is going to affect my daughter.
Yeah.
That is going to have a profound effect on her. And I don't know, it just hit me then. And I was like, hang on a minute. So I'm going to sit and I make sure she has her snacks. We all know snacks, right, kids?
Yeah.
Car journey, anywhere, snacks. Every hour or so they need snacks.
You've got the grab bag as well.
Yeah.
You've got spare clothes, nappies, water.
Yeah.
And then you get in the car, you've put them in the car, shut the door, you don't have any water, you don't have any sunglasses.
No sun cream,
You're about to go to a park for 3 hours in 30-degree temperature and you got nothing.
Yeah, and you've probably not slept for like a year and you're probably dehydrated. So this, honestly, this was it. And this is what I say to all of my clients. So from that day forward, I was like, whoa, stop. Like, I'm preparing all these little Tupperwares to put in my massive rucksack that you have when you have a child, because I have to take that everywhere. So I made some for me. How silly was that? Why was I not going, okay, mummy can have a chopped apple and some peanut butter or whatever it was I needed. Yeah. And then from that day forward, and again, this is why, going back to, you shouldn't smash all the pillars because you're not achieving one. Start small. Be realistic. I do not expect any of my clients to be perfect. I mean, great if you're perfect and you're ticking all the boxes. Just do something. But also, if you don't do something once, it's fine. But if it becomes a habit, then it's something that you need to think about. But they would check in with me. I'm always talking to them. Some of the online clients, it's as simple as they have a habit tracker to tick. It's like when your kid gets a sticker. Yeah. How much do kids love stickers?
Love them.
They're obsessed. You can get them to do most things. It's a sticker, but they're happy. And, the same thing, when you get your habit tracking on the online app, tick it all, you get you're on a streak. Oh, you've done really well. Positive motivation. Just, the things like that. So, go off on a tangent again.
No. So we hit that tangent really well. And I think my clear question for you is going to is what was Jojo's story in that to go from, as you said, survival mode ending to now being the 5 a.m. coach, that's up there, like Mark Wahlberg, if you get the references, or the
Love
other,
him.
he was the original purveyor of 4 a.m. workouts and stuff like that.
He's a vibe. I've read his schedule. Oh my gosh, and he looks incredible.
Who do you think I coach? How many of my clients do you think are women?
Loads.
Yeah, because women are like the only people that are taking their fitness seriously at the moment. For men to buy into fitness,
much higher percentage.
For sure. And men just go to the gym. They fumble around doing a bro split. I'm doing chest and back today. They're still not pushing to failure. They're not asking for a spot. They don't want to improve their technique.
Don't train the legs.
Don't train the legs.
And then there's a cotton coming out the shorts.
And then obviously you get these the other part of Instagram, which is you get all the people that are like where everybody's looking at. So they're looking at the people doing high roxes every weekend. They're looking at people with 9 packs, and they're aspiring to that, aspirational in that direction. So I think through it all, yes, you're right. It's nice to have a real balance between a guy and a lady when training. However, I do understand that women just love to have a female coach when it comes to surf.
I think that's it. And I think because this is an absolute passion for me. I love training. I've always trained all my life. I was brought up, I'd be dropped off at the creche or something at the gym. My mum would train at the weekends or in the week. So it's something that I have seen, and it's a very positive thing. Unless you train badly or not with a decent coach, I can't see how exercise and just moving your body isn't positive for anyone.
For anything.
Yeah, it's like
Mood,
you're sad. Go out for a walk. I'm in a bad mood. Go for a walk.
Even injuries.
Yeah.
The big one is like people just constantly think, I need to put a boot on it. I need to put a boot on life and like wrap my arm in cotton wool. But actually, if you start moving, if you start trying different things, and again, that comes back to those barriers where we talked about. It's like, do you immediately just say no to somebody giving you an idea? Like, okay, no, I can't do breakfast. Okay, what about a smoothie? No.
Oh my God, yes.
No, I can't cook. Okay, what about the 5 meal prep companies that are winning awards every week for like delivering you amazing boxes of lovely food? No, I don't have time to do that. You don't have time to order food that's made, you know? Anyway, so you were saying fitness always been in your life.
Yep.
Right? So to be quite cheeky then, right, why should I bother listening to you if I am overweight and I'm like a struggling mum? As you can tell, you know, like I've got dirty nappies all over the house. My house is trashed. Yeah, I've still got milk coming out of places I don't want.
Yeah, oh my God.
I've got no hair left. Yeah. So then, how did you break out of survival mode, and then where did the Sculpt Coach come from?
So 2 things, and especially if a lady was coming to me in that position, 2 things. The first thing is, do you want to grow old enough to see your children and their life? Do you want to see your children get married? Do you want to be the grandparent? Like, that is my absolute vision of my life. Nothing will make me happier than seeing my daughter have a beautiful, successful life and then seeing her grandchildren. And I now get it, why nanas and granddads go berserk when they see a grandkid, right? And they spoil them. That's like a life goal for me. So that'd be with the first one. Do you want to survive? Do you want to live? Do you want to see your child grow up? And B, do you want to feel better? Like, in any way. So do you want to feel better in yourself? Do you want to probably sleep better? I mean, I sleep so well. If I've trained really hard, I know that night there's going to be no problems going to sleep. I'm going to get into my bed, you know, head hits the pillow. So do you want to see change and improvement? And some clients might say, no, I'm happy sitting here with 700 shitty nappies around me, going nowhere, eating myself into oblivion, being a horrendous example for my child. That's the other thing. Like, my daughter eats so beautifully and she's so active and she adores all of the athletics and the sports because she sees me do it.
Yeah. And Ella comes to the gym with me all the time. Anytime I'm like, we're going to go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym, I've got one more client to do, Ella's like, can I come too?
Yeah.
And then she like sits in the corner, wants to swing on the ropes, go on the rowing machine.
Yeah.
The only other downside to that is that perhaps she's a tiny bit too competitive now. So,
I like that.
Yeah, we did hockey the other day, and then she's like, I'm never coming back again. I'm never doing this. And because she didn't win in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But not because she wasn't trying. She was smashing it. But then where was Jojo? So
what got me out of survival mode?
Arabella was now 12 months, a year, 16 months.
Then this is the thing. This is the bit this is why I love and I believe in this whole coming out of survival mode situation. I had no idea I was in survival mode for years, for actual years, because people do say, "Oh, you're going to get no sleep. Life will change for the better, but you won't be going out. So you know this is going to be tough. This is hard." And there's not that many people out there that will say, this is hard and it is tough. Life is hard in general, in different ways, at different stages of life. But you can make small changes. You will be okay. We can adapt things. We can, and I say this to my clients, we can make the new version of you. Not the old you, the new version of you. Sorry, I can't go. I need to look at you more. Yes, we need to make the new version of you. The old version is gone. We're doing the new improved version. So, yeah, as I say, I was in survival mode for years. And then I think my daughter, she must have been about probably 4. So, we're 40 years down the line. We are in the trenches. We're getting through life. It is getting easier. She's sleeping more. I'm in control more. I'm less worried. I'm less anxious. She's 4. That's brilliant. Made my child survive 4 years. But then it was somebody that said to me, and I think that's also a point, don't expect a mum or a dad or a partner, whoever's given birth or adopted a child, to snap out of it immediately, or 6 months. 6 months is not long enough to come out of survival mode into the new version of you. I think you can put adaptations in place and you can help yourself and you can talk to people and you can reach out. But until you're ready to come out of survival mode, I think it takes time. Somebody said to me, is mum okay? Are you looking after Jojo? You know, you're creating all of these amazing meals and your child's got, you know, milk and water and sunscreen and hats, but are you okay? Because if you get sick, who is going to look after your child? And that really resonated with me because I bring Arabella up on my own. My family live down south. Obviously, we're here in gorgeous Surrey. And I just thought, oh my God, this is serious. Like, this is serious. And just from that day, I started thinking about me and what time I spent preparing and making sure my daughter's life was perfect so she could thrive, so I could thrive too. So that is, what am I going to eat? You know, I know what my child's going to eat 3 days, 4 days in advance. I make sure she's got her water. I make sure she takes snacks everywhere. But what about me? So I then just started applying all the love and care and investment that I made for my child to me.
Yeah.
And quite quickly you see results because I was eating better. I had more energy. I was thinking about my water intake. And then when you're sort of feeling a little bit more like, oh my gosh, I have a bit of like me back, then of course I started training, because training kind of goes out the window at the level that I used to train at when you've given birth and you're adjusting. Right. But then when I had the energy or I had the time or a bit more confidence, because I'm thinking, okay, this is good, I can do this. I can make changes and it won't be that hard and it will have a positive outcome. So then I started training 10, 15 minutes on the floor, use a tin of beans, use some milk, use anything. You will find a solution if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Outside is great. I mean, I always see, and I love it, all the mums, the new mums with the littler babies, strapped in a buggy, walking. Go and get a coffee. Go for a walk. If you can, go and meet a friend in the park. If you've been to an NCT group or you find monkey music or something like that, just go and spend time with somebody else or someone that can talk to you and sympathise. But yeah, so then I started to come out of survival mode, started training, and there was no way I was going to be able to go back to my old job. So I used to work in the oil and gas industry in central London. And later on I moved more into the gaming and gambling sector. But, you know, some very high-paced, high-commitment roles that you have to absolutely 24/7 be there if you want to make the cut and be successable. So I knew that wasn't an option because
Arabella would have then been in 24/7 wraparound care, brought up in nurseries and already more,
like a latchkey kid. And if that's the space that some people have to be in, then that is the space, but I didn't need to be in that space. I wanted to get creative. And I remember going back, 12 years ago, when I worked in London, before I had my daughter, I was dating a professional athlete, and I would see him get up, he would go work out all day. All day he got to spend in the gym. Someone would prepare his meals. They would say, right, you need more fibre, you need this, you need that, more protein. And he would come home and he would get paid. And I used to say to him, you know, that's the dream. You are living the dream. You're working out, you're at your physical peak. Someone is giving you advice that's bespoke to you. I think that's really important as well. What works for one won't work for another. You know, someone is actually caring about your physical appearance, your performance, your meals, your hydration, your massage, your recovery. And I had that thought like 10, 11 years ago. And then, it just dawned on me. I thought, I've got such a passion for training and fitness. I believe in it because it's a fact, it's science, it's proven. You can see the results. And I just really want to get behind this. So I started my training, you know, to get qualified, to make it official.
Yeah.
And, you know, just started getting curious. I think that's the other thing that I say to my clients, get curious. Why do I feel like this? Because I've had 7 burgers. That's probably why. You know, think about it. Think about what you're doing, get curious. What would I like to look like? Think about it, get curious. And so then, I just started talking to other mums at school. So they are my main client base is mummies. So, and we were all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Or I could see ladies that were in survival mode still. It is so obvious. Like there's this one lady, I remember she walked past me and she had one child in one hand, double buggy, looked particularly stressed. I've had that look many times, rushing to get one into school, one into the car, one's having a breakdown, one needs a snack. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I know exactly where you're at right now. There won't be a magic wand if you start training, but what you will have is some time for yourself. you might have an hour a day. I have one client that comes to me and she just has the same slot every single week. And she's like, the minute I walk into your studio, I turn off. Yeah. I'm right back onto me. Not thinking about clients in her job, not thinking about her children. And we talk and we have a bit of banter. And she's actually got a shoulder problem, so we are working on that as well. So she's getting some better mobility. But it's the physical and the mental side of it as well.
But it's that time blocking as well that people don't realise. That you just need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like if you need to make it happen, you need to block that time.
Yeah.
But if you can block the time to go to school and speak to the teacher, you know,
you would, in a heartbeat.
But what they don't realise is that as we, you know, it's that I suppose it's that bit where you think just by turning up to see the teacher, doing the homework, buying the food, you think that you're present as a parent, and then you don't realise that what they really want is for you to be present in yourself. Then you're more present with them all the time. And like I had a bit of, as you said, it was way after that survival mode. So Ella had then got into nursery, we'd finished nursery, started school post-lockdown, got through lockdown badly, but we got through it. And then I was like, it levels up. I was still struggling with work, I was struggling with drinking, but I was still training, so I'd lost loads of weight, but I still wasn't dealing with my drinking, and then my ADHD. So then it levels up. You go, okay, right, well, how can this, I go to the gym, I'm making improvements here, how can I level up again? Okay, maybe I need to look a bit more into some other stuff, like why is this bothering me? Why am I only feeling good for the 10 minutes after I finish my workout? That's not how I want to feel every day, you know? Because much as I love fitness, you can't entirely rely your entire mood around training.
No, exactly. And I think that's it as well. And I think exactly like levelling up, that's the bit that I love. So to put the small improvements in place, see the changes, the feelings, you know, think about you for a second. How do I feel? I feel better after training. I feel bad when I don't. But just setting the time blocks. So thinking about the time blocks, you know, I will block my day out sometimes just to be like, or my phone. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with setting alarms on my phone. Okay. So I might sit at my desk, think I'm going to do some research, or I'm going to do some market planning, but I'm going to set a timer for an hour. And the minute that goes off, because otherwise I will be sat there thinking, just checking the clock, thinking, what am I doing? But relax into it, do it, set the alarm on your phone. Or I have bedtime mode. So at 8:45, I get a little ting ting, start thinking about winding down now, Jojo, like you're going to go to bed in a minute. So use what's around you and think about it. Oh God, what were you saying?
So we were talking about levelling up. So, you were training obviously at a commercial gym. You'd done your PT qualifications or some and then you leveled it up. You were with the mums, thinking that there was a gap. You obviously wanted to become independent. So I have a lot of female clients as well, and one of the things that once they've leveled up the fitness, once the kids have started to go back to school, if they're working or not working, whatever, they then want to level up that bit, you know? So there's an independence there as well. So you obviously then, can't go back to oil and gas. I've got this fitness passion.
Obsession.
Yeah, obsession. Okay, there we go. And then you leveled up into
doing something about it. So do you know, and it absolutely is about leveling up. So I bought and paid for my PT package qualification, because you get all the different levels, and I was still, like I said, leveling up other parts of my life, thinking about other things that need to be put in place, or like, you know, coming to terms with my child going to school and maybe thinking she does need to do after school clubs, because mum guilt is a massive thing. I'm sure you get dad guilt too. So I was just getting my ducks in a line. And I remember the first part of my course probably took me about a year, because there was just not, you know what I mean? There wasn't time blocking in place. There wasn't the leveling up in place. There wasn't the planning. There wasn't the 10 minutes at night of thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow? Plan my day, plan my week. And then obviously the second part I did in about 6 weeks. You know, the difference, and it wasn't hard, the 6 weeks. I flew through it. Whereas the first part, but yeah, so leveling up, and it's continuous and it's progressive. So I'm in a good space. I set my personal goals, business goals, clients' goals.
Well, I follow you. You've just done a whole load of stuff on bar.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with bar.
There you go.
Bar is a vibe, okay?
Bar is a vibe,
Bar and strength. And I haven't found anyone that has quite made that connection between bar and strength in women. And a part of that was because bar is really difficult. And I love a challenge. Challenges, yes. But the other part is a lot of my clients obviously have pelvic floor and core concerns, and bar is massively core and pelvic floor based. So it's kind of like making a synergy between that and the strength training that I'm a massive fan of.
Yeah.
So that was one of my level ups. I found the course, I've done the course, I'm now planning training sessions for my clients. I'd like to do some online courses that people can like participate in.
Yeah.
And it's always there and it's always in front of me. And it's because it makes you feel better. But it also, again, bringing it back to my child. And you can think about this and you can live your life like this, even if you don't have children, because you may or may not have a child in the future. Like if you start realising how to level up and how to manage things, then you're going to be in a better position. But it took for me to take care of myself and come out of survival mode to have a child to do that. And I think that's the case for
people have survival mode for jobs. I have a client, she has an amazing job, and when I met her, she knew that she wanted to train.
Yep.
So she got a personal trainer. But then we never set any like big goals, because originally it was getting to know each other. Now we look at it, it's like there is a big attachment to her role. She's been in the role for 22 years. It's a very complicated role, and she's like properly embedded into the company. But it became her life.
Yeah.
You know? And then what was happening was, again, shoulders were going, stress was going, sleep was going, health was going, weight, and then all of those signs. So you've put all this energy into this role that is the best part of a quarter of your life.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you're going to be told that's the end.
Yeah.
And then if you don't look after yourself, so yeah, equally, if you're not just doing it for kids or survival mode for that, it could be work, it could be it could be that you are literally hitting 40. That's why everyone was like, oh, it's my 40th birthday. Or now it's going to be 50 for us, because I mean, I'm 40. I'm blasted past 40. I don't really care. I'm 50 will be the one I want to have a big party for.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Everyone's like, oh, what are you doing for your 40th? I'm like, I nearly said so. Really, I'm like, making fucking money, yeah? Because like now I've leveled up to a different level where I'm like, I want to make some fucking money. I want to have a party, but I don't drink anymore. So unless I'm hanging out with a bunch of people that I feel on a level with, then I'm not ready to have a party. So I don't want to throw a party for like the old me. I want to throw the party for the new me.
The new version. Yeah. I mean, I was like, I'm going to Marbella to get drunk for my 40th. But
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Amazing. Yeah, I think there was like 8 or 9 of us. We tend to do something every September.
Girls on tour?
Just girls.
Amazing.
At Puerto Romano.
Nice.
It was insane.
I've still not been to Marbella, and I haven't been to Dubai either, and that's why I was genuinely hitting you up for hotel advice when you were there.
So Dubai is amazing, and it's perfect. It's not cultural, and you don't necessarily need that. So I'm probably similar to you. I invest a lot of time and energy in my work and my life when I'm here. But if I'm on holiday, I just want to relax. I want a gym. Have a good gym, obviously. It has to have an amazing kids club. But I just want someone to bring me food. I want to lie down and I want to relax and read a book. So if you're looking, and that's what Dubai does. Yeah. And it's so safe. Marbella. I
mean, I went to Ibiza and I fell in love with it. And then we went again and we fell in love with it even more. But then I was like, need to step it up next level, because it's just it's an island that has everything. So yes, you can 1 minute in Ibiza you can be partying, drinking beers for €1, and then the next day you're like, how much did that bed just cost? And you're like, what? But it was like you said, people bring you food, you don't have to blink, and you feel pampered for
just relax. Just relax, and you've earned it. And I think that's the other thing, people need to recognise achievements and doing good. You can strip it back to if that lady that works, or someone that's looking after a child, or somebody that's starting up a new business. Like, you may not be hitting the goals right now or where you want to be, but you've done something. You've done something with your time. Let's build on that. I'm going to Ibiza in September.
That would be amazing.
Girls,
I'll send you some bars and restaurants to go to.
That'll be very good fun.
Yeah, the food is just next level.
Is it?
No, I mean, like, if you go to the right places, I mean, I'm talking like a Michelin star, but it's just a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, and you're just like pampered.
Okay, send me those. We're staying at Nobu, so the food should be good there.
Yeah.
But we need like somewhere with good dinner where we can have a party with girls.
Yeah.
So anywhere like that.
Yeah, I've got a few. And my friend is actually DJing there. She's leveled up her life massively, and I'm a big supporter for her. DJ Fifi,
Okay, I'm going to Google her. I think I've heard of of her.
Yeah.
I feel like I have.
Yeah, and that's funny because she originally started helping me when I wanted to level up. So I knew that I couldn't do all this on my own. I just knew that, like, right, I'm a dad, I'm sober, like, I am a bit of still a fluffy dad. I'm not like, never been the clean-cut, six-pack dad that played football. I was very much a punk rocker. I've got terrible tattoos. Like, I was an absolute reprobate rocker. Like, you would have found me in a bar, like, at the end of the bar, and I had that charm, but I needed to figure out how to turn that charm into this business. But also, I knew there were certain things with my ADHD that I just couldn't do.
Yeah.
And with social media, and everyone's like, oh, your social media is great, yeah? Right?
It is good.
It is good, but I fucking hate it, right? I suck at it, and I have a lot of help.
No, you're good.
And I work well. And the girl you just met, Katie, I work really closely with her. She's my social media. She helps me. So that's the secret.
Okay, because I'm gonna level up. Okay, so this is one of my goals. I can do that. I'm gonna level up my social media.
Yeah. Well, then Katie, Socials by Katie, which I'll give.
Okay, I'd like to use that because I hate.
Yeah. Well, we have to get you talking to the camera.
I know, I don't like it.
And I've now committed, so if you do it, but now I'm turning into one of those ones that's going to do a video to camera every day.
But that's good. I need to do it. I mean, like, I'm forever, and the amount of drafts on my phone that I've got, I'm like, oh, God.
You can't post it.
I can't post it.
No?
But you
do the classic thing. You do the, and this is, we can cut this out. But I like to say, I've never taken the mickey of a guest before, slightly. But you do the classic thing where you look fantastic, but you're holding the photo like that. So all we can see is like a silhouette of you, and you're like, I've just crushed my 5 a.m. workout. But it's like, but we don't know. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's not like we need you to show us like the dirty plates and cups in the kitchen, But like, and I've met loads of people that are like, I can't talk to camera.
I hate it, and that's ridiculous.
But I'll hold a class with 12 people.
Yeah, or, I mean, my previous job, I would travel around the world meeting extremely intelligent, high-powered oil and gas industry members, like 30 random people, and I'm hosting them for a week.
Amazing.
I have to host them for a week, day, night, everything. And I like walk into the room and I'm buzzing. I can't wait to meet these people and talk to them, do, fun things. But then when I have to talk to the camera, I don't know what it is.
It's like Alex Hormozy says, it's like, are those people going to be at your funeral?
No.
No. And then what is holding you back from the goals that you want next? And is it that you could help your next client by making a video where you're talking to the camera?
100%.
Because then they'll come and actually train with you. Because the one thing that does also suck about this industry is that we do have to sell, but it's sell in a way that it's because it isn't just that easy to wake up one day and say, right, I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to listen to everything she tells me to do. Right? I'm going to buy a Peloton. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get the new Lululemon or Sweaty Betty clothes. Because some of it is all like, yes, okay, a lot of people buy a Peloton, fine. But then it sits there and does nothing.
Yeah.
But what makes you get up at 5 a.m. and get the cardio in? Okay,
so this is something that I've talked to my clients about. So initially, I started doing the 5, I think it was like 6, and it creeped earlier, to fit around my life and my child. So school run, whatever else, that time of day worked for me. So I had to really be strict, set 3 alarms, 2 minutes apart, so that I knew if I snoozed that one, the next one's going to be coming in 2 minutes. So just get out of bed, stop it.
Right.
And it's because this is why I'm obsessed and in love with movement and exercise. When you start doing it, I mean, I started on 5K a morning, so I do 10 now, but I started on 5.
On a bike?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, just 5. Just
5K. It takes what, 18 minutes, 22 minutes?
So I'll do 10 in like 32.
Yeah.
About that, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Started on 18 minutes.
Do 10,000 steps. So I didn't have time, and especially in winter when it's dark, to do those 10,000 steps. So
you can't leave the house.
No.
As well, when you have a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 8K is about 10,000 steps on a bike. So I started at 5, worked up to 8, now I'm on 10. And the reason why I get up every single morning at that time is because I feel good. It doesn't matter how I wake up, how tired I am, what's on my mind, if I've slept bad or whatever. I wake up, I get on that bike, I do my exercise. I watch some absolute trash on TV, which is a guilty pleasure. So I'll put something on Netflix or Prime and just like be in the zone.
Yes, I forgot that about you. That's a really interesting trick. So you're actually doubling up. So you're getting your trash TV first thing. And see, there's nothing about that whole face in ice water there. No. We are allowed to have trash in our lives.
Yes, and I fit the trash in around me because I don't want to sit up at night when I feel tired watching this stuff that's numbing my brain. But I don't mind doing it in the morning if I'm on the bike. Yeah. So like win-win for everyone.
So that's how I'm going to be able to watch White Lotus.
Yeah.
Because I still haven't seen it.
What season?
None of it.
Okay, 2's the best.
I've been grinding. I barely managed to watch Landman, which is an oil and gas thing.
Obsessed. And I get
so
it because
good.
I know all of the intricacies of that.
She looked fantastic. That definitely kept my entertainment after 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, she's good.
I had to Google her, and I couldn't remember what she was from. It was from something when we were younger.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like a silly show that like around the OC times and stuff like that.
There's a new Landman, Ransom Canyon.
Ooh,
that's a new version of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I made it work.
We definitely got that bit out.
I made it work for me. So I watch my iPad, or I will sit and think, right, you've got 36 minutes. And often, having 36 minutes to yourself when you're busy or you have a child or you work, that's an absolute pleasure. So I'm sat there either watching TV or I'll be on my phone thinking about marketing strategies or doing something in Canva or whatever, because I can sit still whilst getting my steps in and just to have some time. So I do that, get my ride in, and then jump off the bike, and I literally feel so good. Insane, like top of the world, can take on anything, can do anything. Let's set the sort of standard and the focus for the day, which is this level. And then I get to go and wake up my daughter, which I love doing. And like who doesn't want to be dancing around the kitchen, feeling amazing at 6 a.m, looking forward to waking up your kids, getting the breakfast ready. But also, I also like, and again, this is something that I put in place coming out of survival mode, to be prepared. So I have Arabella's breakfast stuff, not poured, but ready on the table the night before.
Okay.
So part of my routine, close up the house downstairs, her breakfast is out ready, because also, and again, looking at obstacles or things that are going to get in the way of what you want to do. Sometimes she might wake up when I'm on the bike and she's starving and she's a bit tired and she's a bit cross. But if everything's out on the table, now she is 7, so it's easier. If they're about 6 months, it's going to be harder for you. She can come downstairs and I'll just say, darling, it's out, it's ready. Go and help yourself. And she does it. And so that doesn't stop me from then getting what I need to get done in the morning. But
yeah, it's a tricky one. That it's this sacrifice. I think it's a level of sacrifice. Mums, let's just make it mums. Mums believe the sacrifice has to be real. The sacrifice has to be that I have given up my body, my life, and everything for my child. But what they don't realise is that you could also make the sacrifice as you just did then. It's like planning to make sure it's not a sacrifice in a sense. So I don't know, I kind of got lost with it, but it's like you have to and
it is, and it's that's so true, because also even things like, say you're going to typical things, soft play, farm park, whatever, with a kid. So like literally plan simple things like planning food, water for both of you, but also plan to be stressed. Plan to think, I might have a mental breakdown when I'm at this place, or my child might, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. I will give them a snack, or we will distract. Distraction's brilliant for children. We'll go and see the cows, or we'll go on a different slide. Like, just plan and think, okay, so, and I might feel stressed, or I might feel like a bad mum. I might feel so embarrassed. My kid's having this mental tantrum on the floor, but it's okay, and be aware that might happen, and recognise it, and then just carry on.
Yeah. I mean, during lockdown, it was me and Ella, because my wife I was in a career and I got made redundant immediately, the week before lockdown. So I got made redundant as it was happening, because it's the sort of company I was working for. And then it was me and Ella through lockdown. So you just gave me some random flashbacks then. But generally, I go to those places and I think, but at that point I was also able to move. And if you can't move well, your back's hurting, your shoulder's hurting. Those places suck. But if you can move well, then you jump on the trampoline too. Then you get involved. And then people look at us and probably go, oh yeah, they're the fun parents. And it's like, no, we're actually having fun because our bodies work.
Oh, exactly.
You know? And I'm not like body shaming anyone in that. No. It's like, it's so much better to be able to get involved, you know? And that can also be, if you don't have kids, running for a bus and not being like taken out for 6.
Anything, and you know, and even, you know, like you say, if you haven't got, for you, feel better, move better, live longer for you. If you haven't got anything else to do it for yourself. You know, and it is that. Like, I love it. I mean, I don't love it. I'm glad we're not at soft plays anymore. But I love spending time with my daughter.
I'm not ready for Sephora though. I'm not going to be queuing up for Sephora for some blusher that's like just come out.
So
like,
when you go
I'm already aware of this.
Don't do it.
She's into fashion. And me and her, I can't dress her anymore, so I lost that right. I also can't brush her hair anymore. That stopped when she was 3.5. She's now 7. It was one time at the swimming pool, and I was like, let's just finish this. And then that was the last day I ever brushed her hair because I did it wrong. And then too hard, daddy. And then I was like, Mum says it's got to be done.
But oh my God, Sephora. So don't go to the Dubai Mall. And don't go to Sephora. Don't get confused with the exchange rate. And then work out you spent £350 on makeup.
Wow.
I know. Sephora should come with a warning.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I may be able to borrow some of the things that I bought for Arabella, but you have got that coming, Sephora. Oh Lord.
No, and then the dancing and stuff is great. I try and keep up with the dancing. Thank you all for watching. Do get to the gym. Do try something small, you know, like it all starts with a small step to level up.
100%. Small steps, be realistic, don't beat yourself up. Just keep moving in the right direction.
And then how do we find out more of you online? Where do we find you?
So Instagram @The Sculpt Coach. You can DM me, you can ask me any questions. And then, just start your journey and just start to invest in yourself.
Cool. And then you guys all know me, and if not, then check me out, Coach Rupert Wilson, and come down and see me if you want face to face if you're ever in Surrey. All right, and I'll see you guys soon.